I can never be anything, yeah. But I'll show you there's nothing that I cannot be.
You're listening to Diamond 88.7 FM, shining supreme.
Shine bright like a diamond.
The time is 9 o'clock.
Aago mẹ́sàn-án ti lù.
Diamond FM, radio made for you. Diamond FM. Diamond FM. 88.7. Radio made for you.
Diamond 88.7 FM is here to make sense out of your world through our balanced news coverage from the nooks and crannies of Nigeria and beyond. Journey with us through the news we tracked for you at this moment on your shining supreme station.
For the best of national, local, international news and sport, tune in to News Punch and Diamond 88.7 FM. News Punch, all about the news.
It's a minute gone past 9 a.m. Good morning, and thank you for joining us on today's edition of News Punch on Diamond 88.7 FM, Ilorin, where we bring you the trending stories across the globe. I am Babafemi Adesoye, and here are the stories making the waves across the world today. In Nigeria, the federal government has disclosed that the second Niger Bridge will only be open to traffic from December 15, 2022 to January 15, 2023. Minister of Works and Housing Babatunde Fashola made this known while answering questions from journalists in Abuja. The minister said the federal government is taking the measure to relieve pressure from the bridge currently used for the Christmas festivities. He said that even though the construction of the bridge has been completed, work is still ongoing on the road linking the bridge to the major highway. Still in Nigeria, the Chief of Air Staff, Air Marshal Oladayo Amao, has said that the military is winning the war against terrorism in the country. He added that the successes recorded against terrorists were made possible with recently acquired platforms, noting that they had impact on the Nigerian Air Force's ability on the battlefield. The Director of Public Relations and Information, NAV Air Commodore Edward Gapquet, disclosed this in a statement. In the United Kingdom, world-leading policy institute and think tank forum, Chatham House, has invited the presidential candidate of the Labour Party, Peter Obi, to discuss his plans for Nigerians ahead of the February 25, 2023 presidential elections. Obi, former governor of Anambra State, is expected to attend the event slated for January 16, 2023 in London, the United Kingdom. The event is part of a series of events and outputs examining Nigeria's 2023 elections. And that's all we have for you on this edition of News Punch. Up next is the Diamond Breakfast Show, where we bring you the analysis of the stories. Please do stay tuned.
From news to sports, current affairs to entertainment, beautiful music, amazing programs, we got you all covered at Diamond 88.7 FM.
The major talking points in Nigeria are always on the lips of the citizens.
What's going on in this country? Look at smaller countries taking lead, and you call yourself giant of Africa. Yeah.
Nigeria don't spoil my business too much. Nigeria is too hard for us. I mean, I want to kill us. Father, not kill us for Nigeria. Oh, please, help us beg them.
They should reduce their expenditure so that they can free enough money for social development.
I wish for a Nigeria where we elect a leader based on competency and not popularity.
On the Diamond Breakfast Show, we place the spotlight on the critical issues in the country.
Government that says they are broke can prioritize construction of an additional runway over education of the people.
How can how can you hold Indomine? This is intolerable. It's provocative.
Now, you see, when you look at our democratic journey, we are yet to practice genuine democratic system in Nigeria.
Join us on Mondays to Friday on the DBS from 9 to 10 a.m. The Diamond Breakfast Show, amplifying the voice of the people.
studios of Diamond 88.7 FM Ilorin. This is the Diamond Breakfast Show.
To do this with me this morning is Mr. Sakaria Olawal Abiodun Lawita, Head of History Department, Kwara State College of Education. Good morning, sir.
Good morning, Nigerians. Good morning, the moderator. How are you doing today?
Very good, thank you. And you?
I'm fine too, yeah. So we hope we have a good Friday.
Oh,
and many of it
most definitely. Yes, that's our hope and, of course, our wish and our prayer. Okay, let's take our first story for today. The governor of the Central Bank of Nigeria, CBN, Godwin Emefiele, has reacted to dissenting voices from the National Assembly and the public sector, and the general public anyway, over the cash withdrawal policy, saying that the limitation was not intended to hurt anyone. The new policy limits cash withdrawals to 100,000 naira for individuals and 500,000 naira for corporate entities. Many have argued that this will affect the informal sector, who transact mainly in cash. What are your thoughts?
Well, there are mixed feelings to this. I want to say mixed feelings. The general public are looking at it from two angles. Some believe that to control this currency in circulation will actually strengthen the banking system in such a way that all the depositors' money that has been withdrawn over the time are already being returned in the name of changing the face of Naira. In order to now control how the inflow of Naira will go into the public or the inflow of this currency is to set a limit. And this will actually assisted especially the revenue, the base of all this banking in such a way that when people withdraw money in large sum, in years to now, they store it in all manner of places, in tank farm, even the houses under the bunker and what have you. And even in some revolutions that we see on social media this time around, when people return a kind of money that has been decayed, that shows over sometimes people have been abusing this. And another area by which people abuse Naira because of this large withdrawal, when you go to these social gatherings in form of parties and whatever, you see how Nigerians spend money. They didn't spend even in the single note again. They now go by bundle. So that shows if the money is too much in circulation, whether I would like it or not, inflation over there. And then the responsibility of the government is to control the inflation in such a way that when we don't have enough money in circulation, there will be a way by which people will be controlled to spend it. And when you now look at the limit here, the limit as far as I'm concerned is only those that are going into the business, especially the informal sector, as you said, the local markets, the rural areas where they are not all that being banking and what have you, may find it difficult to transact business. However, when we look at it from the larger perspective, it will be that it will be more of assistance, it will be more helpful to Nigerian economy than the other side is thinking of. But my own opinion as far as this is concerned is that the central banks should give a lot of other windows of opportunity where people can make transactions in terms of payment and what have you. And all these commercial banks should, as a matter of urgency, given a kind of matching order in such a way that Nigerians will not be having problem of poor networking, poor here and there in terms of transacting businesses. These are the areas by which Nigerians are frustrating. If other windows apart from the cash are being improved upon, I think over time Nigeria will get used to it, and at the end of the day we will have a way by controlling the circulation of the Naira in the general public. because even for the government to continue to produce this currency over year in year out, is also some element of expenditure in terms of running costs of the government, especially the central bank. Because you can produce another naira, you have to use another money to produce it. So
that's the real value, the inner value of the currency.
Of the currency. So therefore, if there is limit by which people can withdraw, I think this can be controlled. But other windows of payment or transaction, they should make it. And it's not that you cannot withdraw. If you are withdrawing above 100,000, you are paying the charges. Nigerians should know that. So what about how many of our petty traders withdraw above 100,000 if we are not going to deceive ourselves? The petty traders that the whole of the capital and what have you is below 100,000 is not having any much problem with this. But those that are withdrawing millions on a counter on daily basis are those ones that are concerned. And if they know they will pay more, they have other window of opportunity, at least to explore, in order for everybody in such a way that their businesses transaction will be tracked. But why people are so much having fear of apprehension is that the rich one among us are trying to see it in such a way that some of their transactions, the cutting corners, the backdoor arrangement and what have you, are going to be tracked by the government. So the poor man that the whole of capital is less than 100,000, I don't think he's having problem with this. It's only those ones that big capitals are having the fear of apprehension. And when you now see that the big man is being heated, you now see they will now attach it to the poor man on the street in order for them to have sympathy, which as far as I'm concerned, the regulation is okay. It's only for the central government, the central bank again, to make other windows open. And that now brings up about another thing. There is need for government to empower these community banking.
Okay, I was about asking you that. Let's look at it in this way. I attended a forum on Twitter that was about 3 days ago, talking about this particular topic, and then some people were of the opinion that what happens to, how do we want to buy pepper, buy meat, buy crayfish and everything in the market and all that, and then some other school of thought were of the opinion that there are this particular fintech institutions right now that are even creating micro bank accounts for people based on their ordinary phone numbers. It's just that the first digit of that phone number will be missing, and then the other 10 digits will represent the normal account number. And most of these things have been even sometimes more effective than the major bank accounts, in terms of transaction. You send, I don't want to mention any of their names, but you send money to such person now, they see it immediately. If you send it to a commercial bank, it may take a few seconds or more minutes before you even get to see, the alert or something. So we're now talking about how about everybody having their own bank account, whether you are a petty trader, whether you are a laborer that you need cash for the for your daily wages, and then the contracting company needs to withdraw a huge amount of money to pay those laborers working on the construction site. Let all of them have account numbers, even if it's just those micro bank account numbers by those fintech. I think so we were talking about all that, and then right now we all know that one of the policies and one of the reasons given for the policy is to accelerate transition into a cashless economy. But as adults that we are, the larger population, change is a very difficult thing. So maybe is it possible that it is because of the fact that the inconvenience that people will face in the first the first part of the era is that why everybody just thinking that this policy will be effective or not?
Well, you see, when we look at it, Nigerians were somehow apprehensive of change. And whether I would like it or not.
Well, let's say we humans, not just Nigerians.
That is the one I can. Because in some climb now, where they have gone into all this high-tech, ICT and what have you, the issue of cash transaction is even no more. They go cashless. So they don't issue of cashing and what have you, where you have issue of debit card and what have you, people buy here and there. And whether we like it or not, our economy has integrated into the global economy. And so we have to move along the global economy, whether we like it or not. So, and when you are now asking Nigerians, and you now say average person in the village, average person in why can't you create access? Let them have access. The way you are talking now, the necessity is a necessity. It's a mother of invention. When you know that there is need for you to create this, something will actually push you to make it. You are now talking of another window now in form of fintech and what have you. Many of it will come in order to make this transaction easier, even to the remotest village of Nigeria. So these are the areas by which, when they control this cash transaction, you will see so many things coming up, and that is why now bring issue of this microfinance bank. It is now high time for microfinance banks now to now go into the interior to make those that are on banking to start banking now.
Okay, so the proactive ones of them will even make a lot of money.
It is now
by doing that right
window
now.
Opportunity for them now to now look inward or now to go into this local market.
And start opening account numbers for people.
You go to Alapa market, you go to this Okoyi market, you go to Share market, you go to all these local markets that you know on 5 days basis, on 8 days basis, on 9 days basis, where you see farmers and what have you that are coming from the interior. We gather in this market. There is nothing. There is nothing prohibiting this microfinance bank to move into all these markets, and once they know their bank and what have you will not be, so they can have their own bank even right there in the market where they will be able to do these transactions, and the sellers and buyers will be able to transact where the bank is even closer to them. So they don't need to. Once you know the alert is there and you are sure of what you are buying or what you are sending, then there is no problem. I believe the much of activities now is one for these commercial banks in the city to find a way of creating agents in the interior where they will be able to get those people who are on banking before
on the micro level
to start banking, and at the same time the window of opportunity for the microfinance bank to start going into interior. Enough of us condemning the government direction or policies. And now the National Assembly were having fear of apprehension and when I want to commend them for doing their job, where are they? Is it today they are now fighting for that masses when many of them were having the budgets that they were unable to implement into the level by which Nigerians will change in terms of infrastructure and what have you, and they are now fighting because of the policy that it will affect this that. I don't see sincerity in their position as at yesterday. I, as an individual, as a Nigeria, for the National Assembly to say
to summon the CBN governor.
What they need to do is that, okay, come and explain to us what other opportunities you create if this will affect Nigeria. Tell us what other windows are available. Then how are you empowering the microfinance bank? How are you making these rural areas who are on banking to be banking? How are they now making, as a National Assembly, having the infrastructure being placed in the rural environment? You are now saying rural markets will not have access. Why can't you provide the avenue, access for them to be able to have access to banking?
Okay.
Whether we like it or not, we are integrating ourselves under ICT.
Yeah,
ICT has been able to, when phones were coming, someone told me that even the market woman or the woman selling pepper will have phone. I say, how will you do that? Today, even the person that is not even as exposed as the pepper seller is having phone. Then why are you now having fear of apprehension that if the currency is controlled, we will not be able to transact business?
Okay, let's talk about the use of funds for should I say illegal or illicit activities. But before we do that, let's quickly pay some bills, and then when we come back, yes, we continue with the show.
Your dreams of owning a home in an organized, well laid out, secured environment with 24-hour stable electricity and portable drinking water is within your reach. Grab this once in a lifetime opportunity as Las Vegas Imperial Estate offers for sale 50 plots of land measuring 450 square meter per plot at 8 million naira. That is a massive 2 million naira off the normal rate of 10 million naira per plot. This end of the year promo lasts from November 10, 2022 to January 31st, 2023. Payments can be made in installments within these 3 months, while outright payments attract a 5% discount. Las Vegas Imperial Estate is located right behind Kwara State House of Assembly Complex, overlooking the Asta Dam water. For inquiries, contact 0806 286 5734 or 0803 046 1993. Las Vegas Imperial Estate, luxury and comfort.
get medicine for better Medicare. For the best infusion, no color Biomedical. For family health care, now we be number one. For life-saving medication, color Biomedical. Everybody Biomedical. Oh yeah, Biomedical. Papa, mama, oh.
Biomedical be the Obukoko manufacturer of intravenous fluids. Now them be the critical care company. We don't the shake ground so they.
All right, you're welcome back from the short commercial break. It's still the Diamond Breakfast Show on Diamond 88.7 FM, Loring. And of course, we've been talking about the summary of the CBN governor by the National Assembly. And of course, this has actually been caused by no other thing but the new monetary policy that has just been introduced by the Central Bank of Nigeria. Okay, now, yes, before we went on the commercial break, I was asking to know about the use of funds or the use of cash, let me put it that way, for illicit and illegal activities. Okay, are the National Assembly not checking out the positivity in this policy in terms of bribery and corruption? Okay, you want to take a bribe, or you want to give a bribe now, you'll have to send the money to whoever you're bribing, and that is traceable. I don't know whether that is
yes,
and then talking about the bandits and kidnappers now too, asking people to bring ransom. Where will they get the cash to to get their maybe relative or something, loved one, the victim freed? So I don't know, is the National Assembly not looking at all those positive sides of the policy?
Well, you see, that's why we say Nigerians, especially our politicians, they have not been helping Nigerians in such a way where their sincerity will be measured, at least in terms of positivity. What I mean by this is this. You see, looking at one-way traffic or the negative aspect of it to stop that policy, there are many other opportunities, other strength or advantages of this policy
than the weaknesses and threats.
Yes. But being pessimistic, any policy that did not favor rich men, you now see them coming about in terms of bringing all manners of excuses, because they have the instrument of voicing out their mind. Even you may see tomorrow some of them will be threatened, they will go to court, they will do a lot of things. And because of this is that the one that has affected the rich men, you will see loudest noise. And unfortunately, the masses will not know that they are undoing themselves.
Okay, sorry.
All these things are using in order to at least sustain that gap of rich and poor men.
Okay.
And when you look at the angle by which you have just raised now, using money for bribery, using money for paying ransom, using money for all manner of what they call cutting corners. This will actually affect this. Because now they know that if they pay, this money laundering thing is a law that is at least actually caging some of this bribing thing. And that's why it's very difficult for them moving this a lot of money outside, even through the airport and what have you. You see, over some times now, when they were moving huge amount of money through the airport, they were being caught. At the end of the day, they resorted to these Bureau de change people, where they will be the one that will be served as the intermediary. Along that line also, they were seen blocked. So another area is that whatever you want to do, they don't want to know how you want to get that cash. You have to deliver it. All this 10% on contract job, 10% on supply and what have you, that is going on within the government circle, although informal. What we mean by 10% is that the kickback. So all these things were paying cash. Now they know if so person sends also amount to you, which it's traceable. And that not to allow it to be traceable, that is why they go by cash. Now cash has limits.
All right,
so
let's take.
What I'm trying to
hold on a second, please. Let's quickly take reactions from people listening to us, because I know our time is really against us, and I know a lot of people have one thing or the other to say, so that we give them the few minutes left to just talk about this also. So, ladies and gentlemen, if you have an opinion, a point of view, or maybe a reservation or disposition concerning this particular topic, please 0913-655-6952 is the number to call. Hello, good morning.
Good morning, Dr. Zil from Charon School.
Okay, Dr. Zil, good morning. How are you doing today?
Fine, thank you. And you?
Very good, thank you. So your point of view about this?
My point of view is that I've never been in line with National Assembly and the people there, then this government. But on this, I am with them. It is arrant nonsense. I want to tell you that this man came on board, the current governor of Central Bank. He came with a lot of policies that has been problematic to the economy of even this administration. For example, let me give you an example. Anchor borrower. How many of them, right? They brought in anchor borrower policy and gave money to so many people that are not even. Are you with me?
Yes, Dr. Zil.
That are not even farmers. That the politicians don't use them. As we speak now, how much is like the local rice compared to foreign rice?
Okay, so what you are saying now is that you are not in support of this policy.
I am not in support.
Okay, what's the reason? What's the reason? Because of our time, Dr. Zil, what's the reason?
My reason is simple.
Yes.
It should be, they just brought in the other policy of redesigning, which is recoloring for me. Now they have recolored the Naira. We are still battling with that. For us to even, I think you should hold on for that first. Not that the whole thing will be happening at the same time.
Okay.
That is what I'm looking about. The whole thing is that there is an hidden agenda.
Okay, so you have a problem with the psychological adjustment. Is that what you are saying?
It should have been just that after the reprinting, they will not let at least this administration leave, then let another one come after some time. They cannot bring this thing up. Let me tell you, when we are comparing Nigeria with other people in the global world, is Nigeria like them? We are not doing this right in this country. That is why. So we should learn to move gradually based on our pace. We can't move like people who are already developed. We are not.
All right, Dr. Zil, sorry, we cannot take more, okay, because of our time. Thank you very much, sir. Thank you. Okay, let's maybe we'll just get one more call. 0913-655-6952 is the number to call. Hello, good morning. Hello, good morning. Your name?
My name is Madam Hassan from Itaúba.
Okay, sir. Madam, please go ahead. What are your point of view concerning this?
I think the cashless policy developed by Central Bank is the best policy to come in the year. It's the best policy in the year.
Okay.
And for the National Assembly members, they are only working towards their own interests.
Okay.
Nothing more. Thank you very much.
All right, thank you so much. Thank you for that contribution. Okay, let's see if we have another contribution concerning this. 0913-655-6952. Let's know whether there are portions of the policy that you think should be subjected to further review. Okay. Hello, good morning.
Mohammed Alabi is my name.
Okay, Mohammed Alabi. Thank you. Where are you calling from, please? All right, thank you.
This ransom pay that hard from the northeast now. If they kidnap somebody and you want to pay ransom, they demand it for ram, gold, all this. They don't want cash. If you want to pay cash, they want cipher, this French currency. So I think enough because you change this policy not to punish weed and including Nigeria. You have your money in account, even though it is billion, let them allow you to withdraw you want. God bless Nigeria.
All right, thank you so much. Thank you, Mohammed Alabi from Ofagaj. All right, so yes, we move to another story just right after this break. Yeah, please stay tuned to Diamond 88.7 FM, Ilorin.
Major talking points in Nigeria are always on the lips of the citizens. Always on the lips of the citizens.
What's going on in this country? Look at smaller countries taking lead, and you call yourself giant of Africa. Where?
Nigeria don't spoil my business too much. Nigeria is too hard for us. I mean, I want to kill us. Father, not kill us for Nigeria. Oh, please, so help us beg them.
They should reduce their expenditure so that they can free enough money for social development.
I wish for a Nigeria where we elect a leader based on competency and not popularity.
On the Diamond Breakfast Show, we place the spotlight on the critical issues in the country.
Government that says they are broke can prioritize construction of an additional runway over education of the people.
How can a government, how can you hold in the mean? This is intolerable. It's provocative.
Now, you see, when you look at our democratic journey, we are yet to practice genuine democratic system in Nigeria.
Join us on Mondays to Friday on the DBS from 9 to 10 a.m. The Diamond Breakfast Show, amplifying the voice of the people.
kókó lára ọ̀tá le. gbéra ńlẹ̀ kó dìde. kára ó lè pè ń ban. àtọ̀ra wọ̀ àtọ̀ra pẹ̀sẹ̀ àtọ̀ra dáadáa. kegun tó kegun náà. kára ó yá gágá. ara ń ronú tẹ́lẹ̀ kò ronú mọ́. tẹ̀bá ti fi kára ó lè pè ń ban ra. lẹ́sẹ̀kẹsẹ̀ ló ń ṣiṣẹ́ wọnú igun. tó sì ń ṣe àtúntò rẹ̀. òṣùbù yẹ̀kẹ́ fa párọ̀ tàbí fi ẹsẹ̀ dá. fi kára ó lè pè ń ban bọ̀. káì ara rẹ̀ ó lè padà yakinlala. action action. ó jẹ́ àwọ̀ká àròmọ̀léegun. làkúègbé ara ríro tàbí ẹ̀yìn dídùn. kára ó lè pè ń ban lọ́kọ̀ gbogbo wọn. agbára pọ̀ kára ó lè pè ń ban. tuyi pharmaceutical industries limited. àwọn tó lórúkọ tó ṣe é gbẹ́kẹ̀lé níbi ká po oògùn òyìnbó ló ṣe é. kára ó lè pè ń ban. ẹ̀rọ ṣẹ̀ṣẹ̀ pín ìrèpàtú òpèrè ta pàtà pọ́npọ́n. kára ó lè pè ń ban. ó kì í síbẹ̀.
kára ó lè pè ń ban rẹ̀ àtúrà dáadáa.
You're welcome to the other half of the Diamond Breakfast Show on Diamond 88.7 FM. Lauren, this is exactly where we get to analyze some of the stories that we have in the news, major stories, from the week. Yes, we've been talking about the new policy by the Central Bank of Nigeria that is saying that, cash withdrawals should not be more than 100,000 naira for individuals and 500,000 naira for corporate entities, which a lot of members of the public and especially the National Assembly have a problem with. And then, now we move over to another story. One of the major challenges of the current administration is the state of insecurity in the country. However, the Chief of Air Staff, Air Marshal Oladayo Amao, has said that the military is winning the war against terrorism in the country. Now, the military has recorded successes in their fight against insurgents, especially in the northeast. Can Nigerians be optimistic that there is an end in sight for the terrorists?
Actually, security challenges is a global affairs, and Nigeria is not an exception. However, it's unfortunate that from 2014 thereabout, this issue of a Boko Haram breakout and later turned to insurgency, kidnapping, and terrorism generally has actually overwhelmed the country. But in the last 2 years or so, according to my own survey, findings, there's something
an observation
is reducing. Why will I say it's reducing is that it got to a time in this country where some certain section of the country has been declared their territory by these insurgents. But now no part of, although there may be some other little or some other villages within the borderline in Borno that were still part of their control. But day in, day out, we have seen our forces moving from defensive forces now to offensive attack. And when we talk of defensive is that you allow the enemy to encroach you. You only need to repel their attack. But this time around, they bring war to them. And when you bring war to all this insurgency, that means you are out for business and push them away from this territory of Nigeria. However, with the collaboration of even the multinational task force that concern all these Chad Basin Development Commission, they've been able to cage all this insurgency, and their power has been decimated. Both the land air and sea forces have combined with even the police and other local security outfits to make sure they are pushing this insecurity or the insurgency into something that has been now so low. There has been some time in this country where you got bombings virtually on everyday basis, which that has not been occurred in some times now. The only area, what I still want to cherish much is that the way the Air Force has been participating in operation, honestly, worth commending. Because when you look at the way by which having acquired all these jet bombers and some of these their war equipment in terms of jet fighters, they've been able to be dumping this into the areas that were being difficult for the ground forces to penetrate. And this now makes the job more easier for the ground forces. How the thing works is this. There are some ungoverned, the area we term ungoverned spaces. One will say some area were ungoverned spaces. They are pregnant, they are carnivorous forests, let me use that word, where individual cannot just go in. So it's too difficult for the land forces to penetrate. But through the air forces, they were unable to penetrate all those areas, and there has been an area bombardment where this enclave of these terrorists were being dislodged day in, day out. And when they were dislodged, the ground troops make it very difficult for them to regroup.
So, in one word, sir, you are saying that you, as a Nigerian, you're optimistic that there is an end.
Honestly.
Okay. Let me quickly ask this question. There's this particular, should I say, notion by a certain school of thought that for the past 1 year, the reduction in insurgency and terrorism is apparently due to the fact that elections are coming, and then in such a way, a few top officials of the armed forces have been heard saying that there's nothing that will stop Nigerians from conducting the 2023 general election. That yes, maybe the military or whatever, or the army or anything, I wouldn't know, will do whatever they can do to ensure that the elections are being conducted. Now the question is it that the elections are more important than the security of lives and properties of Nigerians? Because the school of thought that I'm talking about now believe that everything has just been working out just because of the fact that elections are very close, and then just for Nigerians to believe, oh yes, this government has been working, and then what happens to the past let's say 6 years that this government has been in administration? And then another thing is that most of these terrorists, are they not the ones that have actually turned into bandits and kidnappers right now? So are we talking about that the insecurity has really been quashed, or it is just like filtering into something else?
Well, it depends on the perception and the mindset of individual.
Okay.
Which everybody is having a kind of freedom to his own expression or opinion.
Definitely.
So, what I see there as an individual in Nigeria over time that I've been observing this is that, you see, the issue of election is another dimension to it.
Okay.
The fundamental responsibility of any government is to ensure security of lives and properties
okay,
of the citizens. That's number one. The major role of the military is to protect the territorial integrity of the area by which they are serving. And that is why the president is being addressed as Commander-in-Chief of Armed Forces, CEC. So, having that power, it is now within that power that the government now gives to these security apparatus in such a way that they have to protect the territorial integrity of the country. So, if at any time they are making any progress or success to me, I don't attach it maybe because election is coming or election is not coming. Because no government will be so insensitive that all the time the government will be tainted by not having that power to quell any insecurity in its domain. Then it's a failure. But if you now say somebody is failing and the person is trying to make up the area you are criticizing, you are still looking at it and attach it to election. Well, it depends on the psyche of an average Nigeria. However, we must all agree that what led to this insurgency is as a result of bad governance, which is
in the first place.
When there is no school, when there is no hospital, when people were not being cared for, when there is no job, poverty is everywhere. It's not something that started 6 years ago. It has been the accumulation of all this. And then later, this issue of religious indoctrination and what have you now crept in. And that was why the issue of Boko Haram actually give room for all this accumulated bad governance thing. And when you now look at it, that okay, if they say they are no more in terms of this Boko Haram thing, are they not trying to filtering into another thing? Maybe they are the one that turn to kidnapping, they are the one that are into banditry and what have you. Yes, it may be, but no matter the color by which they change themselves or the strategy they adopt in order to make the state ungovernable, the government has the responsibility to clamp them on them and at the same time force those non-state actors into submission and allow them to face the wrath of the law.
All right, thank you. Let's take another story, our final story, before we open up the phone lines once again. The second half of the show. The Department of State Services (DSS) has given Nigerian National Petroleum Company Limited and other stakeholders in the downstream sector 48 hours to end the lingering fuel scarcity across the country. When the spokesperson of the DSS was addressing journalists at the headquarters in Abuja, that's Peter Afunaya, said they held a closed-door meeting with stakeholders who agreed to end the scarcity. Well, there are so many questions. A lot of Nigerians are asking that, okay, what is, how is the fuel scarcity a concern of the DSS in the first place? That's actually a worrisome question that a lot of people really want to know what exactly is happening. But in another way, if another school of thought to say that, okay, is it not just for the problem to be solved? What's your business with whoever solves the problem? We have a problem, and then a particular sector is trying to provide a solution, and then you are asking them what is their business with fuel scarcity. Anyway, so the persistent fuel scarcity has had adverse effect on people's daily lives. What should the government do to put a lasting solution to the problem? And then let's connect it with the intervention of the DSS right now, like a lot of Nigerians have been asking.
You see, government may use so many approaches to solve a lingering problem, even outside the fuel scarcity alone. You see, government, when we mean government, we are having somebody possessing power, authority, to regulate people's conduct. And they have this state apparatus within the military, the non-military apparatus that they can deploy when they notice some threats that can easily snowball into a very large crisis. And I was happy when I listened to Afunaya yesterday, the DSS PRO, when they said people will ask them, Nigeria are very funny, that what is your business?
It's all over social media.
And his response was that, look, as the Department of the State Security, if they notice any threats that will cause insecurity in the country, it is their responsibility
to intervene.
That is enough reasons for whoever does not have other side of thinking, and which is very, very normal. You can have other side of thinking, is not. It is what I said, I still remain. Responsibility of the government is to make sure that lives and property of the people were protected and secured. So that is why they have all these apparatus. And before the DSS spokesman can come on here, they must have looked at those areas that they think have been the major impediment to this fuel scarcity and how this fuel scarcity has been lingering on. And they have called so many stakeholders, the NMPC Limited, the PPRD, and what have you. They are involved. Even I believe the IPMAN should be part of those that were discussed together. Okay, tell us where the problem lies. And they were able to do that. So the whole of the scenario shows that these are artificial scarcity. Because if those that are importing say they have enough, those that will now take it from the depot to the service stations, are within that line. So many things are missing. Automatically, government needs to come in.
Do you think? Okay, you just said it's an artificial scarcity. So are you saying that a sort of black market is just being created, in the petroleum sector, maybe because it's the end of the year and it's expected that there will be fuel scarcity, and then these marketers are just creating the scarcity by themselves?
Yes, I thought just yesterday or this morning, the NSDC Kwara State Command arrested a tanker that is meant for Ikorodu, and they caught him at Okolo. What is he doing?
Ikorodu in Lagos.
In Lagos.
And Okolowo in Ilorin in Kwara State. Okay, jumping how many state borders to get here?
To get here. Automatically you will see tanker moving and you don't know where they are going. And recently I watched something on on this my social media. There at the border of Adamawa, going to Cameroon, a truck, NNPC truck, taking about 33,000 liters of truck outside the country, and that custom said no, you cannot go. People are suffering from fuel scarcity and you are taking it outside the border
to sell it at a higher price.
And remember, this fuel they are selling at higher price there has been subsidized at home. Is that not double gain or triple gain?
Triple.
Already you've collected
even if not quadruple.
Yes, okay. This has been subsidized and they are now sending at the border. That is Nigeria for you. So for DSS, I think they have taken a right step in the right direction. We only want sincerity if at all they want these things to be successful.
All right.
So that their men will not compromise.
Okay. Well, before we start taking reactions from people listening to us, let's quickly go for this commercial break, and then we'll be right back.
The Kwara chapter of the Nigeria Union of Journalists, NUJ Christian Fellowship, invites the general public to the 4th edition of a carol service of songs on Friday, 9th of December 2022 at the NUJ Press Center, opposite St. Anthony Secondary School in Ilorin. Time, 3 p.m. prompt. Theme for this year's carol is Jesus, our exceeding great joy. Matthew chapter 2 verse 10. Choirs expected at the service include the City of Refuge Orphanage Home, Itamodu, Unity Baptist Church Choir, First Close, off Unity Road, Ilorin, Seraph Singers, CNS Movement Church Choir, Ilorin District Headquarters, Calvary Baptist Church Sanctuary Choir, Gakobi, guest artist, Lady Evangelist Kemishola Doye, Blessing Adeye, Honey Drop, and many more. The State Camp Chairman, Right Reverend Sunday Adewale, is the father of the day, while the Kwara State Commissioner for Environment, Mrs. Remila Kumbanigbe, is the mother of the day. Permanent Secretary, Ministry of Communication, Mrs. Christina Ashwinebare, a special guest of honor, Reverend Amos Ayodele Alabi of Faith Life Chapel, Ilorin, will be ministering the word of God live. Jesus is Lord. Announcer, Kwara NUJ Christian Fellowship.
All right, you're welcome back from the short commercial break. It's still the Diamond Breakfast Show on Diamond 88.7 FM in Ilorin, and then we've been talking about so many things. Okay, the first half we talked about the new monetary policy by the CBN, and on this second half, we've talked about the successes that the military has recorded in the past, let's say maybe like 2 years or thereabouts now, and especially the statement of the Chief of Air Staff, Air Marshal Oladayo Amao, saying that the military is winning the war against terrorism in the country. Okay, now we also talked about the DSS, the Department of State Services, intervening into the so-called fuel scarcity that has been lingering for weeks right now. And then so the question now is, what should the government do to put a lasting solution to the problem? And then, of course, do you think that the recent success of the military will enable a safe situation? 0913-655-6952 is the number to call. Hello, good morning.
Hello.
Hello, good morning. Your name and where you're calling from?
My name is Emmanuel. I'm calling from Airport.
Emmanuel from Airport. You're welcome.
Yes.
Please go ahead.
Please, I want to ask the guest.
Please go ahead.
Okay, sir. If the withdrawal limit to stand, that what is going to be the fate of the POS operators? That's just what I want to ask him.
Okay, the state. What's going to be the
Fate of the POS.
the fate of the POS operators? Okay.
I don't think POS are only dealing with
Emmanuel. Hello, Emmanuel.
Yes, sir.
Do you know fully well that the government has not in any way said that POS operators cannot continue their businesses, and most people that even use the POS do not take up to 20,000 naira in a day? Do you know that?
I know that.
Okay, so our guest will answer you.
You see, POS business is a business on its own, and it's not only cash they deal with. People do transfer, people do a lot of things. And the person that will go to POS, are you now saying they withdraw above 100,000? Then if they have been withdrawn above 100,000 on the POS, why can't that POS transform into a microfinance bank? So the POS can transform into microfinance bank.
I think this policy, I see it in a way that this policy might trickle down to a lot of other things that we have not been looking at. Yeah. Okay, if you have a POS business, that means you are different from your business entity. Talking about the business entity concept in accounting now, you are different from your business. Yeah. But then, by and large, because we see it as a small scale business, you have not been paying taxes.
At all.
You have not registered your business. But now that this policy has come, you'll have to register your business and start paying taxes to be able to withdraw 500,000 naira in a week for your POS business.
So you have to upgrade. You have to upgrade. So they are not denying you from doing your business. But if you know you want to upgrade, register with the government so that they will know you are a corporate entity, not just a roadside POS that just go into the ATM.
So could we say this particular instance is one of the areas that we are talking about that the government should try to amend so that it can actually fit into everybody? Because the truth of the matter is, let's say a multinational company like Price Water cannot, and me that have a POS business, we cannot be on the same level, we cannot be on the same scale, when it comes to withdrawal of funds.
You see, every business, there is a way government has make it in such a way, large business, small scale enterprises and what have you, that you can register even online, you get your corporate affairs things, which can enable you have access to other facilities.
All right.
But one thing Nigeria wants is that how are they going to cut corners? Cheat government. Anytime government
let's take this call. Hello, good morning.
Everybody is cutting corners in Nigeria in one way or the other. And on this, I will tell you that this policy should be looked into because it is for everybody to really, if majority are complaining, they should try to also look into it. Doctor, on the line. I want to quickly talk about. Hello, can you hear me?
Yes, we can hear you.
When it comes to the matter of what the chief of army staff, air staff says they are winning the war, it has always been their common statement. That was the time they told us they have technically defeated them. That one, except like me now, I'm a security educator. Apart from being a professional educator, I follow security updates, both locally and internationally. And I can tell you, hello?
Yes, we're here with you.
I can tell you that it is not somebody, you are just, maybe someone is inquiring here, he doesn't follow fully, then you will say they are winning. They are not winning anything. Because as we speak, there are some states that even to conduct the election next year, it will be difficult. If one elections are free, that's a state. So that one, they are not winning. It's just their usual slogan. And I want to say that when it comes to this West scarcity, yes, DSS have rights. DSS have rights to talk, but why now?
Okay, Dr. Zil on the side of the government for the first time.
Yes, and why now? So at least they're supposed to be talking and they should be sincere. If they can be sincere, for me, I give them thumbs up. But if it's just for the policy to support this accusation or anything, for me, they will not succeed in it. Thank you.
All right, thank you very much. 0913-655-6952 is the number to call. What are your thoughts about the three topics that we have discussed, especially the last two that we did in this the second half of the show? Hello, good morning.
Good morning. I'm calling from Mokwa, Niger State.
Oh, wow. Your name, sir?
I did not agree with your man there. These people have not conquered these terrorists. The only thing they do, they chase them away from their abode and scatter them all over Nigeria. I accept that. You understand? Because there are some people now that their crop and there are no way they can harvest. the terrorists are telling them that should pay some amount before they allow them to access it. So what are we saying? So the Tocano there, as whoever that they bomb even a single with it. So they are just telling us that, like the other man said, this is just what they have been saying. So they have never won anything. There is a terrorist in Zamfara. The federal government,
oh, please.
let them come and meet me. If it is what?
Would you? Sorry, sir. Would you move away a little bit from where you are so that we can hear you clearly? Move away a little bit from where you are so that we can hear you clearly.
Okay. So the terrorists in Zamfara there. That is even the federal government telling them that yes, if the federal government needs war, you give it to them. Now they have never done anything about it. Just a single person terrorizing the whole nation. Can you just imagine? So it's shameful to this army. It's coming out to say this or that. They are just using Nigeria, and this money that they are accumulating for all these sorts is evil money. I will detriment even their generation. Sorry to say that.
Okay, sorry. Sorry. Do not let us be negative on the on air. Please, your name again, sir. Okay, we lost that without conclusion. Anyway, our time is fast spent right now, so definitely this will be the size of our package this morning on the Diamond Breakfast Show. Special thanks to our guest, Mr. Sakaria Lawal Abiodun Yita, the head of History Department, Kwara State College of Education, for honoring our invitation this morning. I hope when next we call you again, you will definitely oblige to be here.
By the grace of God.
All right. Okay, thank you so much. Special thanks to everybody that called in and those that wish to call in too, and then those that sent in messages. Thank you so much, and please stay tuned to Diamond 88.7 FM. I am Babafemi Adesoye. Bye for now.